All right, start this baby up for. All right. So, what's it like to own a Audi A4 Avant? I think it's one of the best sleeper cars out. Well, it was, because they no longer really make it. You know, they now make the Audi All Sport or All Road. I think that's what it's called. It's like a hybrid SUV crossover. The body style, I mean, it reminds me of a Subaru Legacy, kind of. I don't know, Audi should go back into make. I know in Europe, I think they make the, RS4, but in America, again, it goes back to an earlier video, why us Americans are not buying station wagons, which is a shame. But this car is phenomenal. I mean, especially after all the modifications, upgrades that were done to it. And again, they were subtly done. They weren't like, for a while, the car wasn't lowered, and it has factory rims. So it's a sleeper car, in a sense. Like, you have no idea of, what you're, except for an APR badge that's in the back, what, lies underneath. And only, I guess, later on, I did, because I had to get, upgrade the shocks and, so I had to do the suspension work, but it is a phenomenal, it's been a great, it is a great station wagon, a great car, the B7, I know now Audi's, up to the B, I think almost B9, B8, but this engine now is on what in European they call it the C8. So the engine is still around, which speaks for itself that they still mass produce this engine. Just Volkswagen has just shifted to that C8, that Spanish in the European market. But I've had little problems with the engine, like little things like a German. Any European car hiccups, like that character that you look for, like stupid little things. Yeah, that's true in this car. But for the most part, it has never let me down whatsoever, and I've enjoyed it. It's just amazing, like especially living in the South, how you get these guys and they're, I don't mean to stereotype or anything like that, but these. Good old boys driving like their V8s and straight pipes, and that's about it. And then this thing just totally destroys them. Then you wait at the next line, and then they're like, I just lost to a station wagon. I'm like, yes, you did. But yeah, it has the accelerator. Like, wouldn't you do the modification, the APR? Like I always tell people right off the back, do the drop-in air filter. Do the ECU modifications. This has it's a turbo back exhaust system upgrade. All these little subtle things, improving that aspect was important more than aesthetics. But I think driving around Indian River County, people have gotten kind of famous. People have seen the wagon, like, hey, I've seen your car, and I get stopped at gas stations. The cool thing is being stopped by all ages and demographics, and they're like, man, I love this car, a station wagon. I'm like, yeah, and they're like, what's in this station wagon? So that's pretty cool. I love driving this car. Like I said, it gives me that instant feedback. It's always wanting to go, and it's such a pleasure to drive this car. I love going for drives in this thing. It's just, can't emphasize, I like how the as you put together a build, and then like the end, you know, you have that span of you enjoy everything. You don't have, you're not looking to add anything more. You just enjoy the car. You don't think about adding this or adding that. Like when you get to that point, it's kind of like, all right, you know, I'm done. You know, because you don't realize how much that stuff, you know, consumes your time and energy. Like, you know, like I said, I am a homeowner and I work and all that other stuff. You know, married. All that other stuff consumes your mind, and then to add, you know, oh, I gotta do this, that, you know, the car, like, you know, but it's kind of a good distraction. I'm not saying it's just different, like, you know, the before and after a build, how, like, you know, there's pluses and minuses on both ends of the spectrum, but just to enjoy the car and go for a drive, you know, without having to think, oh, you know, I should add this or I should add that. Like, it's complete, it's done. Like, you know, you're content with it, and just take it out and enjoy it. That, I mean, I'm going through that with the BMW right now. Like, you know, I'm like, yeah, you know, that could be a little bit, that could be tweaked a little bit, or, you know, that needs to be refined, or, you know, oh, I should address that somewhere down the road. With the Audi, it's done, and it's just been so much fun to, like, just take it out. So, like I said, there's two different feelings when you drive two different cars, and, like, you know, the Subaru is, you know, my wife's car, and it's basically our workhorse, and it is a workhorse. But it's fun to drive. It zips around town, does what it needs to do. So I'm gonna put a little bit of gas because I am really low on gas, and despite being a 4-cylinder, the negative drawback is the A4 loves to drink gas.